What's going on? What's going on? We back at it again. Drams on deck. Today, I need to get something going on. I need to get some reviews in. That's an old bookers. What's that? Okay, Off Your Rock. That's old stuff. Throwback 2016. Wow. I think I'm gonna do a little domestic. I got some new ones. I ain't did a Penelope. I got some. Ooh, you know what? Ain't did you yet, but I think I'm gonna roll with you. This is my new one right here, a Midwinter Dram. Look at that. Act 11, Scene 1 is actually my first bottle of Midwinter Dram. Quick story, I was in New Jersey not too long ago for work, and I was talking to some guys because I kind of travel there frequently. So one of the managers like, you do come regularly. We got something in the back. See if you like it. So he poured his Midwinter Dram out. I was like, oh, wow. I got it for retail. I went up to 140. So I got that for retail. Very first Midwinter Dram ever. And I was almost about to buy another bottle just because I was so happy to get it. And I was like, you know what? Damn, let me pump my brakes because there are other, port finished whiskeys like, example, this one right here. Look at this right here. This Sagamore port. I actually reviewed this already. I reviewed this along with the Sagamore Sherry, and my thoughts and reviews were really good and high on this one. You see the ABV is pretty close. It's 51%, and Midwinter Dram is the 49. So, and it's very dark, luscious, just drenched with the sherry, right? As I was, drenched with the port. But then I thought, well, hell, this one gets busy too. If you never had this one, this Noble Oak, this one right here, this is a port finish, as you can see. Port wine, finished and staved. So this one really shocked me as well. You see the ABV on this one, 48%. I think that's a pretty good ABV for a finish. I wouldn't say all of them, but certain finish bourbons or whiskeys, I would say that that's a good ABV, at least upper 40s. And this one right here is another sleeper. This is out of the state of Iowa, which is where I'm at right now. This Cedar Ridge small batch rye. Look at the ABV right here, 52.5%. So this is 52. This one is 51. This is 49, and this is 48. They all rise finished in port. This one, just like the Sagamore, is just drenched with just rich port wine. So these two are drenched, and I said to myself, well, hell, I got other ones. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna do at some point soon. I'm gonna do a review of all of them. I'm gonna review the Sagamore, Cedar Ridge. I'm going to do the Midwinter and the Noble Oak. All of them finished in port, all rise. I kind of want to know who's the big dog. So, me, Drams on deck, that's all I can figure out. But today, we're going to focus on you. Midwinter Dram, you see what time it is. Very first bottle, quick 360. We're going to dive all into it. Midwinter Dram on deck. Let's go. You see what time it is, baby. Drams on deck. Today, I got another one in the building. Today, I got the Midwinter Dram. This one right here is Act 11, Scene 1 on deck for review. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. As stated earlier, 49.3%. Me, personally, my very first bottle. I've been trying to get this bottle for some years. I've always struck out. I have bad luck when it comes to lotteries. And usually, this bottle right here, until I really see it, if it's marked up like double, which is like around $300, or if it's a lottery, and I never win lotteries. So this is the very first bottle I actually lucked up and got. I told you their story. I was in the store just talking to one of the managers, and he just said, you know what, let me see what I got in the back. Pulled this one out. I was like, let's do it. I got it for retail. Retail is $140 nowadays as of 2023. I know that years ago, it was like around $100. Like maybe up to 3 years ago, it was just $100. It seems like every last few years have been going up and going up, just like the price of everything else. I know there's no bottles that ever go down. You know what I'm saying? Just like inflation, it never goes. It rarely does it go down. It's always going up. So I don't see this bottle ever dropping down to like back to what it was at $89. It's only going to go up. So that being said, me personally, I just say, you know what? Let me go ahead and just snatch this bottle up. If you are a fan of High West out of Utah, they actually have a well, they have other ones. They have Rendezvous Rye, the Double Rye. Those come in certain barrel picks and depending upon what state you're in. So this one here is pretty much the Rendezvous Rye. It's a high rye MGP, and it's aged in tawny port cask. Usually always bottled at 49%, and it changes from year to year. Again, I've never had any other Midwinter Dram, but other people who have had other previous versions have said that the 10-year was not so great. I heard, the second year, fourth year, 9 year was good. So, these are other people's, what they were saying about it. Like me personally, I can only judge this one because it's the only one I've had. But I got this over a month ago, and I'm way past the shoulders. So I was like, you know what, let me give it a try. So, like I said, there's other ports that are on the market that are pretty good, as I stated earlier. Like I said, that this port Castle Sagamore, the Cedar Ridge, which is domestic Iowa whiskey, is awesome. And so is that Noble Oak. So later review, you guys in the comments, let me know your thoughts and opinions about that upcoming review I'm going to do for you guys. Because honestly, I'm the type of person, I want to know, like who's the best of the port finished ryes. I want to know who's the big dog. So between this one and those three other ones, it's going to be tight because they all are solid drams. So I'm curious to know if you had them before. Like I said, just I really don't know because this is, I did a preliminary trial this one. Those ones I've had for a while, they all are solid port cast. This by far is the most expensive one. But I just want to know which one is the best. So I'm going to give you an answer for that one as well. I might even throw in a port finish scotch just to throw a curveball in the review. Why the hell not? But anyway, back to you. So we here, Midwinter Dram, Act 11. I dropped 140. So with taxes, you might as well say it's around about 150. I dropped about 150 for this bottle. Nowadays, like I said, even though things are going up, I think that's still kind of expensive for a finish, pretty much whiskey. And I don't think this is I don't know the exact amount that is aged, but I don't think this is probably aged any more than 6 months in port cast. I'm assuming. I don't know that for a fact. And if you happen to know, hit me in the comments and let me know. But I believe this is probably no more than 6 months. I know for a fact that right behind me, that Sagamore port cast is about 18 months to 2 years. That's about 2 years. So this is 6 months. That's about 2 years. So you just, you're gonna, when I taste it, I know there's gonna be probably more port on that one than this one. But again, some people don't like overly finished whiskeys. So it could be good or bad depending upon your taste profile. And as always, we're gonna nose this thing, we're gonna taste this thing, and we're gonna score it. That being said, this is a nice dark, like a ruby red color to it. I like the darkness of it. I hate when I see things that's allegedly finished in whiskeys and it's light, like very light or even medium color. I like my stuff dark, at least medium dark. And but this has some nice darkness to it, so it's right up my alley. On the nose, you definitely, I'm telling you right now, you definitely pick up the rye. It's not the most rye spice I've picked up on the nose, but you can definitely pick up nice hints of the spice, like the pepper, nutmeg, cinnamon, like a stewed fruit or something like that. Like maybe just a little bit of a raisin note on here. It's not over. It's 49%. So come from someone who drinks like 50% or higher. This is it's not super flagrant, but at the same time you do pick up the rice spice. I said dark fruit, cinnamon, little, like I said, maybe a hint of some raisin. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Yeah, but the main things, rice spice, and that cinnamon and that raisin or that dried fruit. That's what I pick up mostly on that nose. But without further ado, this ain't cologne. This is actually spirits. So I want to know what it tastes like on my palate. So with that being said, let's take this first sip and see what we got. Cheers. All right, now, first sip of the day. It's going down more on the heavy tip. My palate, everything getting sensitized. Still kind of early, but it's going down. I would like to take at least 2 sips because the first sip kind of opens me up. It's tingling, dancing on my tongue, getting getting used to the ABV. Second sip kind of saturates for me. So let me give you one more sip. I'm gonna dive deeper in these notes for you. Okay. Let's imagine you had some rye toast, marmalade or something. It's like a nice jammy rye toast. You can definitely taste the rice spice, pepper on here. But then, that's when you first goes in, the rice spice hits me first on the entry level. Then you swirl around, get that pepper note. Like I said, you get those bacon spice like cinnamon, nutmeg. And then as it goes from the mid palate down the hatch and on the finish, that's when you pick up a lot of that port influence. You get like more of those dried red fruits, maybe a little small dried cherry note, raisin on there. It's pretty nice. I like it. But you know what I'm saying? When it first comes in, that rice spice and that pepper hits me first. And it gets like real, spicy and peppery. And then it kind of mid palate, that's when it starts to get into this more of the port finish. And then on the finish, so that's right now, I down this thing about, almost a minute ago. I don't pick up the rice spice so much. I pick up more of the port finish. Like I say, those dark red fruits, raisins, cherries, it's not bad. I like that. I actually like that. Like I said, usually I don't really add water to this. Like I said, I am a high proof hound, so I really don't really add much water to things like that. If it's like below 50%, but so I either have water, I'm not going to really do that. But all in all, it's a pretty good dram. And I think for people who prefer not overly finished bourbons, I think they can get a kick out of this one, because I wouldn't say it's overly finished, but I would say maybe, I would say 60-40, 60 more on the whiskey side and 40 more on the finish, which in this case is actually a port wine. Coming from really, like other spirits are like maybe sherry, for example, or Tokai. Those are other, sweet finished wines that sometimes especially in Scotch terms, when you say sherry bond, that means it's just drenched with sherry. I wouldn't say this is drenched with port, but it is definitely, you can definitely taste the influence. I'm gonna give you one more quick sip, and I'm gonna give you a score. Okay, not bad. More the same. Rice spice, pepper note, cinnamon, nutmeg. You get that like a nice beefy rye toast, marmalade, like I said. And then as it goes down, that's when you pick up first that pepper and that rye, and with spices on the entry level. And as it goes down, that's when the pork comes into play, at least on my palate. You get a lot of those red fruits on there. Like I said, little raisins, cherries. Like I said, that's raisin cherries is like the two fruits I pick up most. Like I said, some stewed prunes or something like that. I know it sounds nasty, but that's pretty, but on this it tastes pretty good. But anyway, I want the prunes I'm referring to, not the taste. But nevertheless, it's a good dram. I really enjoy it. I like it. I think that I've had, like as we said earlier, I've had other port finishes. I don't want to compare it to those just yet, because I want to do it side by side. Because I think side by side is really what's going to tell it the best. But that being said, this is not a cheap bottle. As I said earlier, this is $140, and that's a retail. If you're talking about getting this on secondhand or markup, we're talking about probably well over $200. Like I said, I used to see this in California years ago on the second market, not retail, but second market. It was like $250 to $300. This was like 2-3 years ago. Okay, so fast forward to that, back then, that's probably when this was only $100. Now it's $140. So I mean, second markets can get crazy on these, especially if you go online and try to get a previous act, like if you want to act 6 or 7, or it's probably going to be $400 for those older ones. But anyway, I think this is a very good dram. I like it. I enjoy it. I mean, if you like rye whiskey, you definitely pick up the rye out here. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's by no means is it overly finished. I think it has a nice amount of the port influence on there, and so you get both of them. You're going to get that heavy rye spice, because like a 95% rye, but then you're also going to get that port wine finish too. So I'm the type of person, I like this, and you can give me something that's, like I said, that's been soaked for 2 years in port cask, like the Sagamore behind me. That's going to have even a heavier dose, even that Cedar Ridge. Like I'm trying to tell you, the reason why I push this, because I know people outside of the Midwest probably never heard or seen this Cedar Ridge before. But if you live in the Midwest, like I live in Des Moines right now, I'm in the military, so I move around every couple of years, so I know I'm not from here. But when I lived in California, I never saw this. When I got here, like a few years ago, that's when I found out what this was. They actually do wines, but I'm trying to tell you, I'm going to do a review on Cedar Ridge, but I'm trying to tell you, if you live anywhere in the Midwest, like Illinois, Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, I even seen this in Chicago area. I'm telling you, you will be surprised. I've seen this in Indiana as well, right outside Chicago. That old Cedar Ridge do a good job. That one is soaked in port, more so than this. So it depends on what you like. If you want even more port influence, those Sagamores and that Cedar Ridge probably is going to give you more of that flavor profile. If you want more of like, just a little bit affluence of port, but you still want the whiskey to be in forefront, I think that this, as well as that noble oak behind me, will be more on that flavor profile. But nevertheless, they're all good. They're all good. I can do them all. That's what we're going to do is side by side by side by side, and we're going to get down to the bottom of things. But back to you. If I had to score this 1 out of a 10, 10 being the best score for me, for Drams on Deck, and I want you to keep in mind, when the score I'm going to give it is based upon finished whiskeys. So I'm not going to score this exact same thing as I would a scotch or a cognac, or even I would say a straight rye, because this is a finished rye, so it's different. So against other finished whiskeys, and particularly like a rye, 1 out of 10, 10 being the best for me, I'll give this. Now keep in mind, I'm talking about taste at this first point. 1 out of 10, I'll give this a solid 8.75 out of a 10. 8.75 out of a 10 for me, for Drams on Deck, just strictly on taste. I think this is a nice, solid dram. It's, for those who, like I said, who just want a accompaniment of the finish, but not in the forefront of it. I think they'll like this. If you're a high rise spice person, it has very peppery notes on there, but it's also mixed, like I said, with those nice baking spices, and then with the finish. So I think that's going to give you what you want. 8.75 out of a 10 on taste. However, when I factor in the price and then the availability, because like I said, this is released yearly. You're not going to just normally see this on a shelf just, by itself at retail. I'm not saying you can't, but usually you don't always do that. If you do see it on a shelf, normally, at least where I'm at, it's always marked up. It's on the shelf. They may have one bottle and you got to win the lottery, and if you're lucky enough to get it at retail. But if you're not one of those lucky people, or if you don't, like, I got this because I was talking to one of the managers, and you got to get in good with people. That's usually how you get stuff for cheap. You got to know owners, managers, they hook you up and know you're loyal, they know who you are, and they know that you're not someone who's just looking to buy something and resell it. They say a lot. But when they know that you come in, you're a loyal person, they'll give it to you full when they do have it. And that's usually how I get things, through just building relationships, really, more than anything else. When it comes to luck, lottery, I never win. So that being said, if I factor in the price and the availability, like I said, limited availability. Now, this may be more available than other releases, but it's still not super available. So, and you talk about the price point, it goes up every year. So $150, you might as well say $150 out the door. That's steep, and especially when I can get other things, like I said, hint behind me for far cheaper. So for me, I'm gonna have to knock it down 1 full point, because I think the price availability is not good. I'm saying, especially the price point. It goes up every single year. And for $150, there's a tons of other whiskeys you can get, albeit not finished or finished, that can fit the bill and can beat this, in my personal opinion. So that being said, so when I factor in the price, availability, and the taste, that means everything encompasses out the door. This is 7.75 for me. But if we're just talking about taste, 8.75. But I'm gonna have to knock it a point, because, like I said, you're gonna have to pay $150 for retail. And then, like I said, it's not something that you just rarely gonna see on every single shelf. So the availability is low and the price is high. That's why I give it that knock it a whole point. But taste wise, it's good to go. So 8.75 on taste. Everything out the door is 7.75 out of a 10 for Drams on Deck. Hope you enjoyed the review. If you haven't had this Act 11, you might, maybe this might help you to get it or not get it. I don't know. I can't compare this to any other previous acts. I can't say, oh, this is better or worse than the 8th or 9th, because, like I said, this is the very first act I've ever had from the Midwinter Drams. So I can't speak on the previous acts. I can only speak for it as it is. And so for me, on taste, 8.75. So if you want to spend the $150, be my guest. Would I back this up again? I don't know. I think the fact that I'm a reviewer and a collector is the reason why I got it, because I never had a bottle, and I'm a reviewer. So that's why I got it. But if I was just a regular person just drinking, I mean, $150, there's other port finished whiskey that you can get that's cheaper, that can fit the bill. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, hope you like that. If you did, hit me in the comments and let me know. You guys are my drinking bites, so I love interacting with you guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Those likes and subscribes won't cost you a thing. I promise, man. And like I said, man, if you also check out my description box, I have a link for my Instagram page. And on Instagram page, I got a lot of bottles on there that I haven't yet reviewed yet. There's also some other hit reviews that I've done amongst my travels. As you know, I travel. Well, I'll probably tell you every time I do a review that I always travel somewhere. So in those travels, I do reviews even on my travels. Those are a little more shorter ones, like 3-minute reviews or something like that. So I did some recent ones of a Parker's Heritage. I did some other ones of a Purple Top, Willet. So just check out my Instagram page as well. If you were a subscriber, you'll see some hidden stuff in there as well. Hope you enjoy that as well. But signing out. Hope everyone's bourbon season's going well. Hope everyone's safe and enjoying themselves. Signing out. More hot reviews coming your way. Drams on Deck. Yes, sir.